everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the global settings. I'm going to show you how you can change those, and I'm going to go through a few that I think are really helpful and that I like to adjust every now and then. There are a ton of them in the manual, and it doesn't really make sense for me to go through them all. And in fact, I reference the manual a lot as I'm changing my global settings, so I think it makes sense for you to just go ahead and look on there. But there are a few that I would like to point your attention to, and through that process, I can show you how things are set up. So the first one we're going to change is paraphonic unison. So the last video we went over paraphony, and right now I'm in 4 voice mode. And that sounds great and all. It means that the first note is the first oscillator, second oscillator, third oscillator, fourth oscillator, etc. But what that also means is that if you're playing something where you want to play a chord and then play a line or something, that line, that monophonic line, is only going to be played by the first oscillator. I really like the sound of monophonic sounds when it's in unison mode. But then I would really like to be able to play a chord on top of that. So what you can do is you can change how paraphonic unison happens, and you can set it up so that all 4 oscillators will sound no matter what. So if you're only playing one note at a time, it'll sound like this. But then if you decide to play a chord, it'll sound like that. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So let's go into our global settings and change that setting. So the first thing we're going to want to do is press Shift and Sync Enable. We'll hold that down, and this indicates that we're in our global settings menu. Now, it's kind of funky how they have it set up, but basically these black notes right here control what grouping of parameters. Like, it's almost like a bank of parameters to adjust. These black keys right here will tell the matriarch what parameter you want to adjust. And then these white keys here will adjust the parameter. So the first thing we're going to want to do is look up which group and which key we need to press to get to the parameter we want to change. So we are going to change paraphonic unison. It's in group 4, parameter 3. So group 4, parameter 3, it tells us the group select key is G sharp 2, and the parameter select key is F sharp 0. So G sharp 2 is right here, so I'm going to press that and hold it. And then F sharp 0 is right here, so I'm going to press this. Now notice that the Sync Enable button is starting to blink in a pattern. And that pattern is listed in the manual. It says 4 times and 3 times. You can tell 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And it repeats that. So that tells us that yes, we are going to be adjusting the paraphonic unison mode, and then we can either choose to turn it off, which is C, and that is the default setting, or we can turn it on by pressing D. So if I go ahead and push that, we're all set. To get out of the global settings mode, we just press the Sync Enable, and now we have paraphonic unison turned on. Now listen to how that sounds now. That's just like voice 1, even though we're in voice 4. So I can play. And I can play chords and then get that massive unison sound when I'm playing just one note. That also is great for if you're playing chords. And then you want to go ahead and take a lead. You don't have to switch right here. You have it all laid out for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it back to its default settings. So I've activated global settings. I'm going to press G, G sharp, F sharp, and we're going to go back to turning it off. And we're right back to where we were. Another setting that I like to adjust is the forward backward repeat. And what that does, if I play an arpeggio, that's pretty cool. But if I turn on the arpeggiator in forward and backward, it doesn't really sound the same way as going. So let's change that in our global settings. And I'm going to hold shift, go into the global settings. It's in group 2, parameter 8, and it indicates that that's D sharp and F sharp 1, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to check my blinking pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm good. So now I'm going to turn off the repeat. So we're going to push C. And we'll go out of it. And now that sounds so much better. It's so much more useful. That's how I like to do it. So definitely check out the global functions. There's all kinds of fun stuff in there. Round robin is another one that I think would make sense for you to pay attention to. Whenever you play something, it cycles through which oscillator is played rather than doing it in the order you've played. That's pretty cool. And then there's all kinds of ways just to really fine-tune your instrument to your own personality and playing style. Let us know how you like to set up your matriarch in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my Patreon page. You know, all that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.